Yes.
I have written down a few keywords here, but I won't tell them to you.
No, it should come as a surprise.
You have a lot over there.
Yeah, this is my wish list.
What do you think about my new couch? You haven't.
What? That's also new. I didn't even notice that.
Totally new couch.
That's really nice,
Don't
and a
you-
new table as well.
New table as well. They can't really see it on because we have covered it with nice Victor gear shirt and
What is that?
the bronze medal from the World Championships. I think we're going to talk about that later too.
So stay tuned.
So stay tuned. All right, we are ready.
We're rolling.
Let's just get right back into it. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of the Badminton Experience, the 14th, I guess, edition. My name is Antonsen, and
I'm Hans Christian Solberg Vittinghus.
as always, your two hosts of this show. It's wow, so much has happened since the last episode. It's been a while.
It's been a while. We haven't been together since for recording together since Bali.
Since Bali, yeah, and that is it like maybe like a month or something?
Yeah, today is the 21st of December, and I think we came back from Bali around the start of December, right? You flew back a little bit early. How's your chest, by the way?
Chest is good. Everything is good. Yeah.
So what's the excuse for not winning a gold?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that later in the episode. But first of all, don't you think that so people might got used to us having big stars here on the show, and now it's just back to the regular episodes with just me and you.
Yeah, so this is gonna be boring.
Probably a lot of you guys already have tuned away again since there's no big star other than Hans Christian for sure.
But we do have a big star lined up, right? I don't think we should give away who it is, right? But we do have
an
upcoming episode. We do have one on the books that is going to be pretty amazing.
A legend.
Yeah.
A legend.
A true legend of the game.
A true legend of the game.
Yeah.
But no, let's not reveal that. I don't know when we're going to get it done, so let's just not
it will be at some point within the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure. But Hans Christian, I mean, where to start? So much has happened in the world of badminton since we last did a podcast episode. Should we just wrap up Bali real quick?
I think we should do that.
Before we move on to the World Championships.
Also, because like you're wearing a hat from Bali, right?
Yeah, that's actually right. This is a fan gift from Bali.
What does it say? Slash
rock, I think. I don't know if it's a brand or what it is, but I mean, I received so many presents out on Bali. It was absolutely insane, and I couldn't get. I mean, most of it I had to leave there, and they were going to give it to some charity out on Bali. But I got some hats with me home and some pictures and a little bit of clothes and stuff. But yeah, it was.
I think it was pretty crazy that there were no spectators or anything, but I still think it's one of the times in Indonesia where I felt the most support, actually, because like every day when you walk past the hallway where they put all the gifts, it was just there were more and more gifts coming every single day, and it was for everyone, even like the not so known players and like photographers, coaches, physios, like almost everyone got these gifts. It was pretty amazing to feel that kind of support.
Definitely.
And,
Oliver even got a few gifts.
Yeah, that says everything. If Oliver gets one, then everyone does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's just the Indonesian fans once again, absolutely crazy and so passionate.
Yeah, I really hope that next year for Indonesia Open that we can actually get to meet some of them, and I hope that will be in Jakarta.
Definitely. We have actually talked about this, that we should try at some point with the podcast to do like a live recording with spectators. That would be
amazing.
And I think Indonesia would be the ideal location to do it.
Yeah, and I think like next year Indonesia Open is gonna be in like June or something like that. So in terms of COVID and everything, it should also be a good time because it's during the summer. So usually the infection numbers are going down and stuff like that. So maybe it will be possible at that time. That would be really, really nice to do live episode.
But the only issue is I don't think you are playing at that time. I think you might have retired.
But then you have hired me full time to do podcast episodes.
Yeah, That would be insane. That would be great. So then we need to get this podcast funded, not only by me but someone else.
So if there's any interested sponsors out there,
anyone out there with a lot of money and want to support the Badminton Experience, contact.
Now's the time to
contact me. Contact me.
All right, he's the manager.
No, but Bali was great. I mean, I was only there for like 1.5 weeks. You were there for like 2 weeks or something.
Weren't you there for 2 weeks as well? Because we arrived pretty early before the event started.
That's right. Yeah. But different, very, very different type of tournament. This bubble that we have experienced a few times now, but this was just totally different. A big resort, the West End Hotel on Bali. We were free to move around on the hotel, which was great because it was so big. We had a lot of space. We could go to the pool, to the beach. A lot of different restaurants, so spot on the bubble format, I would say.
Yeah, I think also one of the things I really enjoyed about it was the fact that you had no, you didn't waste any time. Like when you went to training, you could just walk there in 2 minutes, and then you were at training, and after training 2 minutes, then you were back at your room. Because like usually when we go to events, you have to take a bus ride, and there's only maybe one bus every hour, so even if you only have training for 1 or 2 hours, you often spend maybe 4 hours on that training session because you need to time it with the bus schedule. It was really nice here in Bali that you didn't waste any time at all.
100%.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. Especially that bus ride is so annoying.
it is so annoying.
And then
it really
sometimes, I mean, you finish your match, you look on the schedule. Damn, the bus just left a few minutes ago. Then you have to wait like half an hour, maybe an hour. Yeah. So you're 100% right on that one. And also, if you play like a late match, you want to get home and get dinner before you go to bed. But then at the time you get home, it's too late. The restaurants are closed down. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it would definitely be great if we could do it kind of like that in the future, but I know it's pretty difficult to find a place where you can both play and have a hotel at the same place. Yeah. But as long as it's kind of like walking distance, that would be really
as
really
long
nice.
as it's walking distance to a beach, then
also that
then it's good. But
I guess that rules out a few cities.
Yeah, it definitely does. But I would still prefer like back in the days. Normal, like we could go out in the city and do whatever we want to.
For sure.
But in terms of like a bubble, this was a very good one, I would say. Yeah. Is there any negative thing to say about this Bali bubble? I don't really think so. I mean, everything was good. Only, but this has nothing to do with like with the hotel and the facilities and stuff. But the shuttlecocks we played with out on Bali were extremely slow and way too slow in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. But I think for some strange reason we almost always get slow shuttles. And when the conditions are also slow, then it's just gonna be like very, very physical badminton and not so much about technical stuff and tactical abilities. And I really don't like that. And I will tease for my wish list for BWF. I already teased for it on my social media, but that is actually one of my wishes for 2021, that we stop getting slow shuttles. 2022, sorry. That we stop getting slow shuttles for all events. I feel like we have slow shuttles for 80-90% of the events. Yeah. And for me, it doesn't really encourage attacking play, actually. And it gives longer matches, and in my eyes, a little bit more boring matches. I don't think it's an advantage for me. I prefer a slow shuttle, but I think just in general for the sport and the way we want it to go, I think it would be better if we have faster shuttles in the future. Because almost all big events we play in slow conditions. It's big halls, and that often results in the conditions being quite slow.
But it was actually quite weird because the arena out on Bali was a quite tiny one. So you didn't get this feeling of playing in like All England, for instance, where it's a huge arena and you just feel really slow in there. But the arena was small and it was extremely warm too. Doesn't that usually make the shuttles become faster? Or
I don't know actually. Usually I would say that heat makes things go together, right? Like no, not go. Like if it's cold, things contract. Yeah. And if it's warm, it widens, right?
So you think that's the science of how the shuttlecock
that's usually how
works.
it is, right? For example, with train tracks, they tighten up when it's cold and they expand when it's warm. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
We are on deep water here.
Yeah. So I think it would make more sense that warm conditions would make the shuttle slower.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the opposite, but
I'm no expert.
I don't think you that you are an expert. So
please correct me if I'm wrong with everything.
Help
I'm
us
saying.
out here, guys. Does a warm environment make the shuttles faster or slower? Or let us know if you know anything that we don't, because we obviously don't have a clue. But yeah, I agree. That was, I mean, and it annoyed me so much because I mean the badminton was not the prettiest badminton. I mean, you saw the men's doubles starting to clear to each other, just totally giving up on trying to end the rallies. So we were there for like, there were 3 tournaments there. I have zero idea why they didn't saw after a few matches in the first week, okay, this is ridiculously slow. Let's just change to another
faster shuttles.
To faster shuttles. Yeah. I actually talked to the referees about it. I said, have you watched some of the matches? And of course they had, because they are sitting right there the whole day, every day. This is extremely slow. I mean, are you going to change it? Are you going to do anything about it? I mean, and then I said, look at that women's double right there. It's a Korean pair, and I couldn't remember the other pair, but they have zero chance of trying to finish the rallies by playing offensive. It's just, they're just clearing to each other. It's becoming extremely boring. And he just said that it's because it's the Korean ladies double. Okay. They always play long matches, so that's why.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they do, but that's not why. I mean, look at the match, please. It just annoyed me so much. We were there for three weeks. They didn't change it.
Did you see any of the match between Victor and Loh Kean Yew?
No.
I didn't see it either, but our coach just said that like Loh Kean Yew, he couldn't hit a clear to the baseline. Like he was playing it like 1 meter too short all the time, and at one point he just gave up on actually hitting smash winners. Yeah. Even though Victor was also missing a bit of length a lot of the match, but he had no chance of hitting it to the ground. I know that's also a challenge when you play Victor sometimes, but like if a player like Loh Kean Yew gives up on his smash, that's a pretty good indication that something is wrong.
It really can't be true that we as grown-ups, I mean, if I can't hit like a long backhand clear with these shuttles, and if I want to do a forehand clear, I have to use all of my energy. I mean,
that's not
that's right. An indicator of the shuttles being too slow, I would say. So and as you mentioned, we are playing with those almost every time at this point. I don't know why, but
that is how it is.
The World Championships was also quite slow shuttles, but better.
I think for sure better. You also didn't really see any of those men's doubles where they were just clearing and not trying to take any kind of initiative.
That's usually an indicator.
If the men's doubles do that, then you know the shuttles are insanely slow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing that you could say wasn't as good about the Bali tournaments, it was extremely warm. In the arena. Yeah.
But compared to Spain and the World Championships, I actually prefer the temperature in Bali, because the World Championships, that was cold.
That was extremely cold. So
did you know actually there's a rule about the temperature in the hall, what it needs to be? No. I found out that in the BWF regulations it says that it has to be between 18 and 30 degrees Celsius in the arena.
Okay.
If it's colder than that, they need to heat it up.
And it was colder?
Well, the Danish TV channel, TV2, who were covering it for Danish TV, they did some measurements and they recorded everything between 12 and 17 degrees.
Okay.
But I don't know if the rule is on court or in the hall in general, because obviously they could not measure the temperature on court. And I guess on court it's a little bit warmer because of the lights and everything. But it was definitely right on the border of what is acceptable.
It was extremely cold. And I mean, the challenge out on Bali was, for me, I wasn't really warming up that long time because I was just sweating so much. So that was kind of a challenge out there, but down here in Spain at the World Championships, it was impossible to get warm.
Yeah.
I was warming up with my jacket on still, and
I chose to play in like long sleeves and long pants as well, because I never really felt I was 100% warm in my body. Of course, during the match, when you played for 30 minutes, you will feel warm, but at no point I felt like I was gonna play just in shorts and t-shirt. No. It's just too cold.
Imagine how, I mean, it's obviously difficult for us to play in the extreme heat because we're not used to it. But the other way around, when the Asian players comes to like World Championships here, when it's extremely cold, it must be so difficult for them.
Yeah. It must really take
it's also difficult for us. Very difficult.
And we're quite used to it from training and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's, for some reason, it's easier to play in the heat because it doesn't hurt so much. But of course, as you say, you sweat like crazy, so you're in danger of like dehydrating a little bit, which I guess is why you also do less warm up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I think the challenge with playing in that cold is just that, at least for me, it kind of just hurts more. I remember you also mentioned something in Bali that you never really felt sore after your matches.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird experience for me because I usually play play a match, and then I can feel, I mean, sometimes in my hamstring, in my legs, just in general, that I'm a little bit sore. But it was like I played some tough matches out there, but I just felt really good the next day. It wasn't sore at all. But then just after my first round match at the World Championships against Vladimir Malkov, I was a little bit sore again in my thighs.
Yeah.
In my thighs and my hamstring, and it just, I mean, the heat definitely, isn't it thighs?
I think the thigh is like in here, right? Thigh.
Glutes. That's the word. In my glutes.
Isn't this the thigh?
This is the thigh. Yeah, this is the thigh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Guys, just sore in the legs. You know what I mean. But and then down here in Spain, I felt that, but I didn't feel it at all out on Bali. So the heat definitely, I think it definitely do something good to your muscles.
Yeah, for sure. So we should actually ask BWF to up the requirements. 18 degrees is not even enough.
I would say it was also too warm on Bali.
Yeah, all right. So somewhere in between.
Somewhere between 22 to 28.
It's so strange in Spain. I played Barcelona Masters a few times as well, and it's always like it's colder inside compared to outside. Like the weather was actually quite okay in Huelva this time. But as soon as you're inside, it's so unbelievably cold.
It was the same on the hotel.
Yeah.
The hallways, and it was so.
The worst part of every day was when you woke up and you had to walk to breakfast because you needed to go out of your warm room and into the hallway, and it was almost below zero. I don't know. It was freezing cold.
It was insanely cold.
There was one day where I was actually considering just skipping breakfast. I didn't want to walk there.
Because I agree. It was so annoying, and also our rooms was like 1 kilometer away from the reception. So we got to walk a lot there.
Yeah. How many times did your key card stop working?
Zero.
Okay.
Zero, actually.
Okay. For me, it only happened once, but it's quite annoying that you have to walk, as you said, like 1 kilometer to your room, find out that your key card is not working, then you have to walk back to the reception and back to the room one more time.
Classic one. And I forgot my key card a bunch of times.
Okay.
So it's almost the same. Okay, so that was Bali. Overall, great experience. We also did some amazing content, Oliver, too.
For sure. And I hope you guys enjoyed it with all the amazing guests.
Yeah.
Huge thanks to Gracia Ginting and Lisha Jar for saying yes.
100%.
And a few guys has actually been complaining that we didn't give them any gifts, that we should be a little bit more polite and give them gifts. And we did talk about it beforehand. We just never really...
Didn't execute.
Yeah.
We will try to be better host in the future. But no, that was great. I mean,
that was great.
Ginting's very first podcast episode, and Lisha Jar's as well. Gracia has done a little bit more of the same kind of stuff because she's also very used to speaking English, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, very interesting conversations with all three of them. Very, very nice that they said yes, and we have got so much positive feedback after those episodes.
Yeah.
So I think, I feel like we are doing something right here.
For sure, and I noticed on Bali as well that the Yuta Watanabe spoke English in one of the interviews, that he did some short English answers.
Yeah.
So I think he's a guy that we need to have a look at.
And I mean, I have a straight line to his parents. So
exactly. Yeah, that would be nice. I think in general, it's pretty cool to see that more and more of the Asians are actually trying to answer in English for the interviews, even if it's short answers. I think it gives a lot to the viewer and the fans.
And also, I think there's more and more players who are starting to do stuff on social media, on Instagram and on YouTube. And Yuta is also, I think he's actually doing both.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he also has a YouTube channel. So
I need to check that out.
Yeah. All the fans need to do that. We are here to promote the sport, not only ourselves fans.
True.
We are doing God's work here for the badminton sport. No. Is there any like in particular things that you remember from those podcasts that we need to talk about?
Now I should have prepared for that question. Yeah, one thing I think that's interesting from all of them was when we did that final question about what they wanted to improve in the sport. And what I think is interesting about it is to hear that a lot of their thoughts are kind of the same as us. Like sometimes we feel like the sport is maybe divided into two, like Asia and Europe. But at the end of the day, we're pretty similar, and I think we want the same for the sport. They have the same concerns as us, and we have the same concerns as them, even though the systems doesn't work exactly the same way in all the countries. I think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And all of them mentioned a few very good things. Stuff that we have also talked about, you know, with the schedule and some of the rules and stuff. Yeah,
and I saw actually we spoke to Gracia about her signing up for the Athletes Commission election, and she got elected.
She did?
Yeah, congrats. Actually, she was the one that got the most votes.
Nice. It was because, I mean, after our podcast.
Yeah, of course, there was no chance she was not going to be elected.
No. So
we campaigned for her for sure. Yeah.
Congratulations to friend of the podcast, Gracia Polly, for being selected to the Athletes Commission. Perfect. Yeah. So that was Bali. Moving on to the World Championships, just finished a few days ago.
And with a little bit to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've because we talked about that we should every time if we win something, some trophies, some medals, we should bring it to the studio. And
if you do, yeah.
If I do, yeah. Oh, you were not so far away this time. No, I'm sitting here with the bronze medal from the World Championships, guys. I placed third.
How do you feel?
How do you?
Because I saw in an interview on Danish TV afterwards that you said it. You didn't really seem like you were that happy about it, and I think that's fair enough. But like, do you feel different now, or are you still a little bit? Are you more disappointed than happy at the moment?
I'm definitely 100% more disappointed than happy. I'm, to be honest, extremely disappointed.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough.
I mean, I just really hope that this was going to be my year, and of course I saw an opening in the draw with Momota not being there, and Victor got knocked out in the first round. So, but still after that I knew that the field was very, very strong still, and I could lose every match that I was going to play. But even though I just had hope that I could claim the title. And of course I placed second 2 years ago at the last World Championship, so I would have loved to upgrade it to a gold. That's for sure.
I guess it also makes sense that when you already have a World Championship medal, like a bronze doesn't mean the same. I think it's more for you. It's probably more like when you retire sometime in the distant future. it would be nice to look back on and say, okay, I won this and this many medals.
Yeah, perhaps,
but right now I understand why it would not be. If I was sitting with that medal, I would be over the moon, obviously, because I have no World Championship medals. But yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense that for you right now, it's more disappointment than a huge success.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in me that I want to win. I don't play to be the third best. I want to be the best, and it's also tough to have that mentality because I mean it's almost impossible to satisfy yourself. I mean it's insanely difficult to become the world champion. Very few players is going to experience that.
Yeah, that also having that mentality also means that in most events you finish with like a huge disappointment.
Yeah,
you don't win all the events you play,
No,
right? You only win a
not
very
at all.
few. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then again, it definitely makes me work harder. Every time I get one of those disappointments.
It's funny you say that because I've been in training for the past 2 days and you haven't been there.
I'm on vacation right now, so that's why.
All right.
This is only it's Tuesday today that we are recording this. The World Championships ended a few days ago, so
all right, that's fair enough.
Isn't it fair that I take just a few days off?
To be honest, I'm also only in training because I have a couple of league matches I need to stay in shape for. As soon as those are played, I'm gonna be on 100% holiday.
Okay, that's good. But that was I ended up with the bronze medal, but played a few good matches, I would say, in the tournament. Defeated Loh Kean Yew, which I had the utmost respect for heading into that match. Also because I lost in the French Open.
We took a taxi together from the hotel to the arena before that match, and I actually also felt like I wouldn't say that you were nervous, but like I just felt that you had a lot of respect for that match, and you didn't see it as like a match that you most certainly would win.
No.
You felt like you didn't really know either where you were standing or like what level he was going to show up with. I was quite surprised to see the result because you won very convincingly.
Yeah, definitely. I doubted myself going into that match, and also because he's one of those players that if he plays really, really good, then you will have a very, very tough time on the court. Yeah. And sometimes you feel with those types of players who is like
all or nothing kind of guy.
All or nothing. I think he's kind of like that it's a little bit out of your hands if you're going to win or not. Yeah. So I was just a little bit unaware of what is his level today, what is my level today, and but I think that doubt actually helped me really much because I took it really, really seriously. Heading into the match and in my preparations and doing the match too, I wasn't going to give him anything for free in there, and I played a really good match, probably my best match of the tournament. Then moved on to Loh Kean Yew.
Yeah, damn, should have been me.
Yeah, it could have been you almost. Yeah.
Well, not almost, but yeah, I got him into 3, and I think it was a good match, but I wasn't close of winning.
No, not really, but no. I mean.
But yeah, I get what you mean. It was a good match.
But
and I tried to make him tired for you.
Yeah.
It's like teamwork.
Yeah.
So I feel like I deserve like 5% of that medal.
You can have it.
Yeah. All right.
I don't want it. No. Loh Kean Yew, our good friend here on the podcast.
He's a big friend of this podcast.
He is definitely a big friend
house
of the
friend.
Podcast. Go and watch that episode after this if you haven't done it. No, so do you want to talk about your way through the tournament before we get to where I faced?
Yeah, well, I can say I think there's 2 things that I take with me from this tournament. One is that I now hold the record for being part of the oldest singles match in World Championship history.
That's impressive.
73 years between me and Chan Min Nguyen in the first round. He was actually already holding the record because when he played Lin Dan in the first round 2 years ago, that was the oldest singles match in history. Okay. And now obviously he's 2.5 years older, and I'm a little bit older than Lin Dan was at that time in Basel. So I think it's just like a fun little record to be a part of, and I think it also says a bit about like our longevity that we are still playing at this level. But I think it was actually a really, really fun match to play because he was playing some like really old school badminton. And that's not to offend him or anything, but I can't remember the last time I played someone who played so many high clears and high lobs, and like he didn't inject pace in anything. So it was a fun task to try and solve it, because it's not something you do every day, and I cannot just play 100% pace all the time, then I would die completely. But yeah, I felt it was actually pretty physically hard, because I needed to make these changes of pace all the time, and it needed to come from me all the time.
That's just his style. I mean, it seems like he has no intentions of trying to win the rallies. He just wants to make you tired and try to make you make mistakes.
Yeah, but I think it still took me by surprise, actually, in some way, because I played him before, obviously, back when he was still a top 10, top 15 player. So I remember playing him in Swiss Open 7-8 years ago, and at that time I think he was actually playing pretty fast. He was always trying to up the pace. He was hitting smashes and just playing high pace game, not with a lot of like sharp. He wasn't playing so much to the lines. He was just trying to up the pace. So it took me a little bit by surprise.
It can be annoying if you're not really able to score the points in your attack. Then you just have to run a lot.
Exactly. And then I moved on, played Kanta Suniyama, who I have a good head-to-head record against. Yeah. Beat him one more time, so I'm now 5-0 up against him.
That's quite impressive.
Yeah. I can't really, I can explain why, but I think it's also down to coincidence a little bit. And I think now I feel at least that I'm in his head somehow. Like I feel on court that he's not 100% sure of how he's
not really confident in there. No.
I don't feel like he's playing at the level against me that he usually is. Like he's not playing as fast and with as much confidence. No. And I think it's because like he's tried to run me down a few times. He's tried to outplay me with pace, and so far it hasn't worked for him. So obviously, he's just doubting himself a little bit when he plays me.
Yeah, it's weird because he's also a really informed player right now. He won the French Open, so a really good player. I would also, if I didn't know about your head-to-head, I would say that he's the favorite going into that match.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's definitely something mental in it for him, and it makes sense. I mean, now it's kind of like a thing for him too, probably, and also for you. You want to keep that record, and he's like, I've lost 5 times that we played against each other, never won. So
and I definitely felt it after the first set. I lost the first set, which was the 3rd time in a row I did that, but I didn't really feel uncomfortable, or I didn't doubt myself at that time, because obviously just 3 weeks prior in the Indonesia Open I did the same and I could still come back. So it's that way, it's a little bit easier to find that belief that I have what it takes to beat him. So I think all in all it was a great event for me. Also the match, as I said, between me and Lee Xijia, I think I played well. Gave everything. I died completely in the 3rd game, but when he was already having a big lead, I felt like a small itch in my hamstring. So at like 13-6 in the final game, I could not play at 100% pace anymore, and at that point he was growing in confidence, and I kind of lost belief. But I'm very happy with my World Championships. Yeah. I wanted a medal, but I'm just happy with the performance. Yeah, I think
you played well, and you also did some what do we call it? YouTube kind of rallies.
That's the most important part. I'm here to entertain.
You dived like a crazy person, like you sometimes do. Yeah. I think it was against Suniyama, right?
Yeah, I had one against Suniyama.
You also had one against.
I also had a crazy one against Lee Xijia. Yeah. So I had 2 YouTube highlights. Yeah. So that's a big success.
Yeah, you should put it on your Instagram. Can't you do that? Get it somewhere.
Yeah, I can.
Put it on Reels.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Good idea.
It's a very good idea.
I will do that.
But then, because you lost to Lee Xijia, I ended up facing Lee Xijia in the quarterfinal, and he played a very good first game, better than me, obviously, because I lost 21-12. And then something started to happen on his side of the court. I just tried to play kind of like the same. He was making way more mistakes, and I didn't really knew why. I just thought that okay, maybe he's going to drop this set and then he's coming full pace in the third game again. But I then won the second game, and I was leading like 11-1 in the third, and he pulled out because of a crazy blister on his foot.
Yeah, did you see the photo?
Yeah, I saw the photo afterwards. I mean,
it looks both disgusting and also really, really hurtful.
Yeah, very, very hurtful to play with, I could imagine. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to finish the match. And he was quite devastated afterwards. Wasn't really able to do any interview. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, I also imagine it's a huge disappointment having to pull out of a World Championship quarterfinal. He has no World Championship medal, so it was a good opportunity for him. I think it was quite interesting or unusual to see in his interview after the match against me. He did one with Badminton Europe, and he actually said that he was both physically and mentally drained, like he was almost done. I think it's quite unusual to see, especially an Asian player, being so honest. Like usually you would keep a poker face on and not give away anything, but I think it's really, really nice to see, and that he's allowing himself to be honest and also give more of himself to both the fans. But yeah, it just took me by surprise a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. But might not the best idea to do.
Yeah, it's maybe not so wise.
Not so wise, because I saw that article too. I saw, and it said exactly that.
Yeah.
I'm mentally and physically like.
And you obviously brought that with you on court, right?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, even though he wouldn't have said that, I would still. I would still believe that he was very, very tired. He had played three matches, all of them in 3 sets, and just the schedule that he has been going through has been insane. So, but yeah, still, I mean, I probably wouldn't have said that.
But you could easily say that because everyone knows that you're tired.
I actually wasn't tired in this tournament. I actually felt quite good physically. But then I'm in the semifinal. I'm going to play against the new the reigning world champion.
Now he's the reigning. Yeah, now he is the reigning world champion.
Now he's the reigning world champion.
He wasn't the reigning world champion at the time.
No, but now he is. The new
wonder kid from Singapore.
The new wonder kid in the sport and in men's single, the rising star, Loh Kean
Yew.
Loh Kean Yew.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I think it is too. Loh Kean Yew. Where should we start?
He's fast.
He is very, very, very fast.
Like one thing that was really nice for me to see was that, like, obviously I lost to him in Indonesia. I lost 21-9, 21-4. I played like shit. But watching him play at the World Championships, I'm beginning more and more to think that, like, maybe the reason why I played so bad was just because he was insane.
Yeah.
Like when he was playing Kantapon Wangcharun in the last 16, he won 21-4 and he was up 11-0 in the second game. And Kantapon, he's for sure not a bad player.
No.
Like he was the reigning bronze medalist.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just like, I think it's really the speed that kind of sets him apart from the rest at the moment.
Yeah.
Of course, he has a lot of good things in his game, but I think he's really. Yeah, he's really setting himself apart by being much faster than anyone. And I think I've thought for a long time that Ginting is the fastest on tour, but I actually think that Loh is faster.
And we talked about this with Ginting. And he couldn't come up with anyone who was faster than him. He mentioned that Lee Chong-wei was fast, but when he played him, he was maybe a little bit older. But I think too that Kean is the fastest player on the tour.
And it comes out of nowhere, really. Like,
I mean, I saw him play in Germany, where he won
the High-Low Open.
Yeah, the High-Low Open Super 500 tournament. I saw him play against Rasmus Gemke there, and that was
really
my first time really paying attention to him. And he was just doing some insane stuff sometimes. I mean, he was extremely fast and explosive, hard hitting. Yeah, so that was my first time really, analyzing him, and I think he won that one. That of course gave him some confidence. Then he placed second in Indonesia Open. Defeated Momota, was also like a big booster of your confidence.
Defeating
you, yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to say that he's really, really an extremely confident player right now. I mean, you could see it on the way he was playing, the chances that he was taking on the court. Everything was working out for him, and he was just growing and growing and growing in terms of confidence. So he, what a player! I mean, insanely fast.
I think what's also quite interesting about Loh Kean Yew is that like his playing style is quite different compared to what we see on the world, on the top of the world tour. I think in general men's singles is like a pretty patient. You need to be pretty patient, and you need to wait for your chances and be very consistent. And I think he's really playing a style where he's going for tight net shots, even if you play it like into the middle of the court. He's still trying.
The lamp just now the lighting is different.
Yeah, it's a little darker.
It's warmer.
Oh yeah. Now we're back. The lamp just fell down, guys. Sorry.
I just still feel like it's different. Isn't it? It's darker or something.
I think
now it's very cold.
Let's just go with this.
Okay.
I think he's going for like a lot of chances. So trying to get the tight net shot and then go for his attack all the time. He's not attacking like 50-60%. Like I feel he's going all out a lot of the time.
Definitely. And you said that men's single is usually like with patience. Sorry.
Just adding a few Danish words to the podcast.
Sorry. Okay. That thing with the camera and the lamp just totally.
We just had a small break because the camera was overheating as well. So
we're
back. Completely thrown off.
I'm back. So I think you mentioned that the men's single players who is dominating is usually very, very consistent and patient and stuff. And I think that's one of the things that he has added to his level. I mean, on top of being extremely explosive and very good in his defense and his attack, I also think that he is way more consistent on the court now.
For sure.
He's not making that many mistakes, and also in the long rallies, he's also very solid there. So
very disciplined.
Yeah, I mean, way more disciplined that I have seen him in the past, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's so dangerous right now, and also the reason why he can win sets like 21-4 and 21-7, 21-9 sometimes, is that he's giving very, very few mistakes to the opponent. So I think that combination of him being so explosive, so fast, and also consistent, and if he's able to cut away his errors, I think he's a very, very dangerous player.
Yeah. Can we just acknowledge how crazy it is that he actually beats Victor 21-9, 21-6 in the final two games? Like, I know he lost a game, but like it's really difficult beating Victor.
It is.
But giving him single-digit scores is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's insane. I was playing the match after that, so I didn't really get to see the rallies. I don't know if you have seen the match
I've only
afterwards.
seen the third game.
Okay.
I didn't see it live, but I was watching it afterwards because I needed to see what was going on. And it was exactly like you said, that like he was not giving anything away. Like Victor had to create all the points himself. And Victor obviously looked a little bit like jaded, a little bit tired. So maybe he was not up to the pace that Loh Kean Yew could play in, so he was just finding it really hard to make the winners because Loh was playing at a higher pace.
Yeah, I mean, when I played against him, I think his defense was extremely good. I mean, I actually think that I was having a quite solid defense. So of course he was getting it down on me here and there, but I think my defense was quite solid, but it was very difficult to score the points from my own attack because he was so fast diving to the sides. And
I think that's where you really can see his speed is insane, is in his defense, because he's actually standing quite far back on the court, but when you play with good angles or with drops or anything in front of him, he's still so fast that even though he's standing far back, he can still get to it. Like, and obviously it makes it easier for him to defend the hard smashes when he's so far back.
Yeah.
I think the only guy I saw that had a lot of success in his attack against him was actually Shrikant in the final. He had some periods where he was really, I think he really had some success in his attack actually.
I think, I mean, Shrikant is back too. I mean, he's playing better and better and better, and he's been struggling a lot in the last few years. I would say.
I think you saw signs of it already in Bali, right?
Yeah.
And French Open as well, where he almost beat Momota.
Yeah, definitely. So he's on his way back to his level, for sure. He did some very, very nice stuff in the beginning of that final Shrikant on the net. I mean, his disguise on the net and the way he spins is incredible. Yeah. So Loh had a little hard time there. It's always difficult playing against Shrikant because of those trick shots that he has on the net. It's difficult. But Loh, is he the future of men's single?
That's a big question.
What is his ranking right now? It's not really high.
I think he's 21, 22. He's just below me, actually. But I think probably when we're recording this, there's a new ranking list out. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to make a serious jump up towards top 10. But I don't think he will be top 10 yet. But yeah, for sure he's going to... If he can carry on with just any kind of level that's close to what he's playing at right now, he will be top 5 pretty quickly, I guess, because I'm sure he also has a lot of results that are not very that's like where the points are pretty low, so he can easily pick up points quickly if he keeps his level. But
that's the interesting part. I mean, is he going to be that consistent? And what is this going to do to him? I mean, it can do two things. It can just boost his confidence and but it can also, I mean, perhaps put a little bit of pressure on him because he was definitely the underdog in this tournament. No pressure really, but now there's a lot of eyes on him. And so it's going to be interesting to see if he can keep that consistency.
Yeah, and I guess everyone will also start analyzing him a lot more than they have been so far. But I think if he can maintain the speed advantage, I think it's more about his way of handling things mentally that will decide if he will be a top 5 player than it is what everyone else is doing. Because if he has that advantage of speed, he has a really good chance against everyone if he can keep it together. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with the added pressure, because it will be there for sure. Also from himself, not only from everyone around him, but also he will start expecting more for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Loh Kean Yew.
Yeah, we need to get used to that name.
We need to get used to that name. I think that's.
And his English is great, so we also need to get him on the Badminton Experience.
Yeah, also highly recommended. The last few days since he won.
Yeah, also to get inside his head so we can know what buttons to push next time we play him.
Yeah, that's what we do here with the Badminton.
It was
Experience.
Brilliant. We had Li Xijiang on before we both had to play him.
No, I had. Do you know the story of Loh? I mean, with his upbringing and
a little bit. I don't know it in much detail, but I spoke to him a few times.
Okay.
Like he's born in, I think it's in Penang in Malaysia.
So he's born in Malaysia.
Yeah, and I think he moved to Singapore around age 15, something like that, to study and pursue a career in badminton. Okay. And they offered him to go there. So yeah, now he's representing Singapore because of that. So for him, it was a good...
Did he change his citizenship or what do you call it?
He did. Yeah. He did. So he's a Singaporean citizen now.
So he's actually from Malaysia.
He's actually from Malaysia. So he's the first Malaysian world champion ever.
Wow, that's
just not representing Malaysia.
That's insane.
Yeah. But I think there's, at least from what I can see on social media, there are still a lot of Malaysians who are also supporting him and proud of him because he's originally Malaysian. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, it's not that uncommon, right, in Singapore that they have these foreign sports stars that come there and start representing Singapore. It's pretty common, actually. That's also how they got the Xiang Bei Wen, the women's singles, who's now American. She was representing Singapore a few years after coming from China.
Okay.
So yeah, it's quite common in Singapore.
They don't really have a rich badminton history in Singapore, right?
No, for sure not.
No,
for sure not.
So Loh,
at least not at this level.
Loh, he put them on the map.
Yeah, he did. First Singaporean world champion, first Malaysian world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, he's Singaporean.
He's representing Singapore, so that must be it.
Yeah, Malaysia is still searching for the first one.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's a crazy stat.
In all of the categories?
In all of the categories.
Wow, that's insane.
I remember when Wang Chong-han played the final in Birmingham in 2003. We back then there was a lot of talk that he could be the first one to win the gold, and obviously he lost the final to Xia Xuanze, the coach from China now. And yeah, since then obviously Chong Wei has had quite a few chances. Missed them all at the final hurdle.
And what about Olympics? Never won.
Never won a gold.
In any sports or only in?
I don't know. Actually, I don't think they have Olympic gold in any sport. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But I know they don't have one in badminton. Because in Rio, where I was doing commentary, we talked about it a lot. Because they had a finalist in men's singles, men's doubles, and mixed doubles. Yeah. So they had 3 chances.
And they had 2 match points in the men's double, I remember.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
And if I remember correctly, it was 2 service mistakes on both of them.
If someone is going to get that gold medal, I hope that it's going to be our friend here on the podcast,
of course.
Li Xijia.
Of course, and then he needs to come on the podcast and show the medal, and that's the 100%. First interview he's going to give after the
100%. We'll make sure that that's the first podcast at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so Loh Kean has been presented to the audience from us. New guy to watch out for. 100% the world champion. So anything else about the world championships that was interesting? We had the Chinese players back in action again. Tai Su Ying from
she was back. What was best about having her back was the interview she gave after the final, where she confirmed that she's not going to retire anytime soon.
Okay.
She will carry on.
Because that has been a rumor for a long time, right? That she was going to retire after the Olympics.
Yeah.
She changed her mind?
Yeah, she just said in a Badminton Europe interview that she's not going to retire.
She's right there.
She is right there. She's right there, yeah. And she's going to stay on that towel and t-shirt for a while. But yeah, I think the most interesting fact from the World Championships, apart from Loh Kean Yew's rise to the top, was for me the mixed doubles event. Because as you said, the Chinese players were back. Sheng Siwei and Huang Yaqiong were there, and they've been basically unbeatable. I know they lost the Olympic final, but that was against the other Chinese pair, and they lost to a pair from Hong Kong, which I had no idea could play at that level. So it ended up with Dechapol and Sapsiree being the world champions, and they've had a unbelievable crazy season. Won all 3 events on Bali. They won all the events, or 2 of the events in January in Thailand.
Wow, that's insane.
And now they won the world championship as well. So
what a year!
What a crazy year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I would say for me that was.
And they won the final here like quite easily against Utah, right?
Yeah. I think they did that in the World Tour finals as well on Bali. They beat them quite convincingly.
Okay.
So yeah.
One thing I've noticed about the players from Thailand, they are practicing so much, and they are doing a lot of like I wouldn't call it weird, but fun stuff. With like some coordination stuff, I believe it is. Yeah. I just feel like they are also here at the resort here in Spain at the World Championships. They're always somewhere practicing. I mean, when you go to the bus, then you see there's a couple of Thailand players out on the grass doing some kind of exercise. I mean, they're always doing something. Yeah, they're practicing a lot.
I didn't notice, but now you say it, I actually recall a few times on Bali as well, where they were doing some like light footwork or stuff that just doesn't look so hard, but as you say, they have something going on all the time.
It's not like, I mean, they are not built like the Chinese players or the Korean players, for instance. They are not that huge, I mean, physically. But they might be good at other stuff like coordination and speed and movement. Yeah. Interesting.
Very. And now they have a world champion.
We'll search.
I actually don't know if
research.
that's... Yeah, I don't know if that is... Sorry, the first Thai world champions ever.
No, Ratchanok.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, she won in 2013 in China.
Yeah,
youngest women's singles world champion I think ever. 18 years old.
18. Wow.
18. Yeah.
Crazy.
In Nanjing. No, Guangzhou. I was there, so I should remember.
That was the year where Lindan also beat Li Chongwei in the epic final.
He was a wild card entry.
Yeah.
So I think that him and Loh Kean Yew, I think, are the only unseeded men's singles world champions ever.
Was the Lindan unseeded because?
Yeah, because he had a wild card. He didn't qualify,
so
he only got a wild card. So
okay,
he wasn't seeded. But what I remember from that World Championships is actually Chen Min Nguyen, because he played Yan, our friend, in the quarterfinal, and I guess everyone knows that one insane rally they played on one of his match points that went on for 108 strokes.
That's insane. That at the time it was the longest rally ever, right?
Yeah, I think
in
so.
a men's single.
Yeah, I think so.
I think maybe a women's double.
Yeah, has beaten it since.
But
I think for men's singles it's probably still the longest ever.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah. Or you guys can find out for us. That would be nice.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section. What is the longest rally ever? Is it still Jano Jørgensen versus Chen Min Nguyen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice pronunciation.
One thing negative about the I'm negative today. You can hear that. So I'm bringing up all the negative stuff. No, and one thing about the World Championships that I thought was ridiculous was the draw.
True.
So and you have also talked about this in the media, but so in the upper half there were a lot of players withdrawing. Kento Momota, Anthony Ginting, Jonathan Christie, 3 out of the 4 seeded players in the top draw withdrew from
3 out of the 4 highest seeded. There's 8 seeds.
Yeah, for sure. Of the 4 highest seeded. Yeah. And
in the bottom half, no seeded player withdrew.
No, so it was obviously like a
very uneven program. And I have zero idea why they didn't made a new one. Yeah, me neither. Like the rules say that you can make a redraw if it's severely imbalanced after withdrawals or stuff like that. And I don't see how a draw can be more imbalanced. Like realistically, I don't see how that's ever gonna happen. That a draw is more unbalanced than that was. No. So yeah, that rule makes no sense if it wasn't being taken into use in this situation. I think they need to rewrite the rule and make it more specific, so it says like how many seeded players pull out, and then we say a specific number. Yeah. And then we make a redraw, because right now it makes no sense. I don't know what it takes to get a redraw.
No, but they've never done it right.
No, the only times I've ever seen redraws is if there's been a mistake. Like in the World Championships in Basel, they made a redraw in women's singles because they had a player in the draw who was actually banned from playing. So obviously they needed to make a new draw because she could not feature in the draw. Okay. I've never seen them make a redraw because of withdrawals. No. So, but yeah, I think they should
this time. I would say it was ridiculous.
But I think the best solution would just be to stop making the draws so goddamn early. Just make it 1 or 2 days before the event starts. Then you know who's there and who's not, and then you will get the best possible draw for everyone.
And do it live.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be nice.
Pull the names out of a hat or something like that. Make some content out of it. I mean, they do it at the World Tour Finals. I mean, that's quite fun.
They could for sure do it for World Championships and Olympics and stuff like that. They don't necessarily have to do it for all the events, but of course, just for the big ones. Yeah. But I think for all events, they should just do the draw 1 or 2 days before, because that way you will always have the most fair draw made, and it doesn't matter for the players if you know your opponent 1 week before, 2 weeks before, or 2 days before. No. Because at tournaments, as soon as you win a match, then you will only know your opponent for the next day, that day, right? So we're pretty used to only having 1 day to prepare for a specific opponent.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's on my wish list.
That's on your wish list. Yeah. Where can we find your wish list?
On my Facebook. I'll put it on Instagram as well. And at the time this one is out, I think it's already out, my wish list. So go check my social media.
Go check Hans Christian.
Check it out. Check it out.
Find his wish list. Is it directly to BWF?
I've just posted it like an open letter to BWF and everyone else interested in a good discussion about badminton.
I'll go and read it afterwards. One last thing that I've wrote down. Where is the prize money?
True. Do you know? It's in Oliver's pocket. That's where it is. That's where it is.
Why is there no prize money at the World Championships? Yeah. It should be the biggest tournament of the year with the most money and the most prestige and stuff. Yeah. Can you?
I can't explain it. I actually a few years ago I was trying to make a post about that as well, but I never executed on it. But I was looking up other sports to see like what was the prize money for their world championships and stuff like that. And in some sports there's zero, but in other sports there's also quite a big prize pool, right? And I think it would make sense that there was a prize pool, given that it is supposed to be the event with the most prestige. Yeah.
But the BWF still have sponsors on the tournament and stuff, right?
Yeah, of course.
You can see it on the banners.
I'm pretty sure they're making a lot of money out of the World Championships, because that's the only reason why we are now playing 3 out of 4 years instead of it used to be only every second year. So the reason that we do it more often is that it's obviously also a money machine.
Yeah. That's so weird to me.
Yeah, true. I actually didn't put it on my list, but
put it on your list.
It could have been on my list.
Okay, can you maybe just add it in for me? So this one is from Anders, my co-host on the Badminton Experience.
I'll make I'll make a new list again next year.
I would like to get it on now.
I don't want to be greedy, so I only have like 10 suggestions. I all want them, and then next year I can have 10.
Then put one extra on. one extra from me. We'll dig into that. Try to find out why there's no prize money at the World Championships. Makes no sense. We've been on for almost an hour.
Woo. Well done.
Well done.
I think we are back in great podcast shape. So but it's also gonna be a while before we do the next one.
It is.
Yeah, it is, because you're going on holiday.
Yeah, but I'm still home like a few more days.
Yeah, but I'm going to Norway for Christmas.
When do you get home?
After Christmas, and then you go on holiday.
Okay, guys, we'll try to figure something out.
Maybe we can do one on holiday, because we're going to the same place.
We're going to the same place. Location is to be revealed.
Yes.
Later, so. Yeah, we're back in action. It's good to be back. It's been fun talking to you again, Hans.
Same. Slash work.
We still work on what we are going to do with the studio that's going to be upstairs.
There's never going to be a studio. We're going to talk about this every single time, but there's never going to be a studio. But now we have a new table, we have a new couch, so we are improving. Yeah. And soon there will be like a Badminton Experience sign.
Not in here. Not in here. This is supposed to be my living room. Yeah. No, we'll figure something out. But the top thing, guys, is that I have to do it all by myself. Yeah. There's no ideas coming from Hans Christian or Oliver or anyone, so it's difficult for me.
That's life. Life is difficult. Yeah, it's your house, your rules.
Yeah. So
wrap it up, Anders. Wrap it up.
Easy. No. We haven't been on for a long time. I mean, the fans has been missing us.
They've been missing me mostly.
Yeah, mostly you. No, guys, thank you very much for watching and listening to this episode of the Badminton Experience. We are happy to be back, and hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and
share it with all your friends. Leave a comment. We asked you a few questions during this episode, so make sure to help us out in the comment section. And that's it. Merry Christmas from me. Happy New Year from me. Oliver. See you guys. Thank you guys. Bye.